are continuing with that breaking news right now here on KCAL News. Mayor Karen Bass has fired LA Fire Chief Kristen Crowley. I want to get back over to our assignment desk manager, Mark Lou, with those details. There's been a lot of back and forth when it comes to the handling of our fires here in town. What led up to this, and what do you know so far about that release?
Well, there's a lot of controversy, and this is information that is just coming into our newsroom. But here at the desk, we received an email from Mayor Karen Bass's office that says that effective immediately, she has fired LA City Fire Chief Kristen Crowley and brought a deputy chief out of retirement to be the interim chief and lead the department. Now, this is some video of now former LA City Fire Chief Kristen Crowley at one of the news conferences discussing the damage to the Eaton and Palisades fires. Mayor Bass is going to hold a news conference in just about 15 minutes to discuss this latest development. Now, they did send a news release. Her office sent a news release with some details as to why this happened. I brought it up here on the screen. Now, right here is the important part. It says, quote, acting in the best interest of Los Angeles public safety and for the operations of the LA Fire Department, I have removed Kristen Crowley as fire chief, Mayor Bass said. We know that the 1,000 firefighters that could have been on duty the morning of the fires broke out were instead sent home on Chief Crowley's watch. Furthermore, a necessary step to the investigation was the president of the Fire Commission telling Chief Crowley to do an after-action report on the fires. The chief refused. These require her removal. The heroism of our firefighters during the Palisades fire and every single day is without question. Bringing new leadership to the fire department is what our city needs. Now, coming back on camera here to me, this is going to be a very important development for the LA City Fire Department. Apparently, there will be an interim fire chief while ostensibly the city searches for a new permanent fire chief. But effective immediately, Kristen Crowley no longer leading the LA City Fire Department. Kalina.
Now, Mark, you mentioned the interim fire chief. What do we know so far about who that person might be, what their background is?
So this is information that also was included in this email, and very likely Mayor Bass will discuss this more at this news conference. But the news release says that Chief Deputy Ronnie Villanueva has come out of retirement to be the interim fire chief. The news release goes on to say that Ronnie Villanueva dedicated 41 years of service to the LA City Fire Department and was 7 months retired, but is coming back to be the interim fire chief. He retired from the fire department as chief deputy of emergency operations and has decades of experience with the department. So that is the person who the mayor chose to at least be the interim fire chief. It's unclear if Ronnie Villanueva will be in the running to be the permanent fire chief. But it goes on to say he spent 24 years in the field in active assignments. So certainly someone with a lot of experience with the LA City Fire Department. And this is the person who's going to be running it now for the near future.
You know, in your experience, you know, being part of LA, reporting here, you've done so much research at the assignment desk. Is this something that typically happens, bringing someone out of retirement when you're, you know, moving someone out like that? Or why not pick someone who's already within the fire department? Well,
it could be that this person, Ronnie Villanueva, the deputy chief, Ronnie Villanueva, was certainly the best person for the job. But the removal of a sitting fire chief in the city of Los Angeles is very uncommon. I'm trying to think in my mind the last time something like that happened, especially after a major event like the Palisades wildfires. Now, we know and we have seen that there has been some conflict between the mayor and the fire chief during some news conferences and some issues regarding the firefighters and how they responded to the Palisades fire. But this is a major step. I mean, removing a fire chief in the middle of a term is something that is very serious. And certainly the leadership of the LA City Fire Department is going to be shaken up by this. But the fact that an interim chief is stepping in immediately, that's going to at least help keep continuity of the chain of command in the fire department. But certainly this is a major shakeup, Kalina.
You know, and you mentioned the back and forth. Crowley publicly criticized the city for budget cuts, saying that it made it more difficult. We've also heard criticism, you know, toward Mayor Bass on not being in the area at the time and why, you know, would she leave? There's been so much conversation around this, but the bottom line is we have such devastating wildfires that happened to our town. We're still trying to rebuild. The process of rebuilding is going to take such a long time. Can you walk us through what's happened the last month and a half when it comes to these fires, where we are, how much damage has been, and what this will look like, what the role this new fire chief will have to, take on in order to try to give our city, our Southern California, a sense of normalcy, that we're going to be okay when such a major shakeup like this happens?
Well, certainly, Kalina. I mean, the Palisades fire and the Eaton fires as well, one of the worst natural disasters to ever hit Southern California. And there was lots of finger pointing after those fires were finally contained, all the way from where was the mayor at the time? Were there enough firefighters? Was there enough water? So certainly there was some controversy surrounding this fire, but this has been one of the first major steps that we have seen in terms of any kind of accountability, or at least alleged accountability for things that perhaps did not happen as they should have. Now, other major figures in the city of Los Angeles are already weighing in on this very important decision to remove the fire chief. Here at the desk, we just got a statement from former mayoral candidate and real estate developer Rick Caruso. And I'm going to read directly from this statement. It says, quote, "It is very disappointing that Mayor Bass has decided to fire Chief Kristen Crowley. Chief Crowley served Los Angeles well and spoke honestly about the severe and profoundly ill-conceived budget cuts the Bass administration made to the LAFD. That courage to speak the truth was brave, and I admire her. Honesty in a high city official should not be a firing offense. The mayor's decision to ignore the warnings and leave the city was hers alone. This is a time for city leaders to take responsibility for their actions and their decisions. We need real leadership, not more blame passing." Now, again, that's a statement from Rick Caruso. And remember, Kalina, that was Mayor Bass's opponent in the mayoral race for the city of LA. He lost, so he is certainly being critical of the mayor's decision here to fire the LAFD fire chief, Kristen Crowley. But certainly there will be many other city leaders weighing in on this. This just happens to be one of the first ones that came into the assignment desk. But now that Chief Ronnie Villanueva will be the acting or interim fire chief, he will basically have to come in and hit the ground running and try to, rebuild certainly any kind of chain of command in the LA City Fire Department to make sure that fire service continues. And he certainly does have a lot of experience. As the mayor's news release said, 41 years of service at the Los Angeles Fire Department. So certainly a very experienced person in terms of fire management and leadership in that department. But it's going to be a big task going forward.
It's definitely going to be something that a lot of people are talking about. I'm also looking on X right now, trying to see what comments are coming through. Several people, of course, have their opinions on this, on both sides of the firing. So we're going to keep you updated on all of this throughout the morning. We're continuing to gather more information.